Look who is here with us today. Rich Massa is back with the Fuller Center for Affordable Housing. How are you?
Fantastic. How about yourself?
Great. You've got a story to tell, but first, before we get into the particular story, Nathan's story, I would like to have you just recap what we've talked about before, what the Fuller Center for Housing is all about. It's not been long since we talked, but give us a recap.
Absolutely. So the Fuller Center for Housing, basically we're a faith-driven, Christ-centered organization. Here's one of the things we kind of pride ourselves on. We look for the collaborative model. We look to work with other organizations, create new partnerships that are innovative with not only individuals, but different organizations that understand the importance of providing adequate shelter for people, not just locally, but worldwide. The Fuller Center for Nature Coast, it's a group of like-minded individuals dedicated to eliminating poverty housing up and down the Nature Coast. So that's it in a nutshell. I mean, we've been talking about things like workforce housing, affordable housing. They're all related. I mean, the reality is that it's a crisis coming on. And
let me ask you about this. July 13th, which is, a couple of days from Saturday. This is your first Greater Blessing program. It's a family who has need for window repairs, lawn work, cleaning, power washing. So a lady who's elderly and unable to do on her own. And I will tell you that because all the listeners know this, if they listen to the show at all, that I've been doing a lot of this kind of stuff for an old house that I'm getting ready to sell after living in it 26 years. I've gotten pretty good at that. And this would be something that I would actually really enjoy once I have the time, helping people out. So this is your first one. You're going to do more of this, I would imagine.
Absolutely. What we've noticed in the area is...
I'd be glad to help. I have a pressure washer, and I will be done working on mine, and I've learned a lot. And if somebody needs a lawn mow to help an elderly person, what a great way to help somebody out, help a neighbor out.
Absolutely. And I think what we've noticed up and down the Nature Coast, there is a tremendous need, and people have been contacting us with simple repairs, whether it's lawn, whether it's replacing some windows. And what is the real cool part of this whole thing? Forget the power washer, forget the windows. You have a group of people, strangers, that are coming together for one type of mission, which is to serve, which is to help somebody other than themselves. And through those bonds and those relationships, and I call them exposures, give us that opportunity to do basically what we're called to do. We're called to love someone better than ourselves, right?
The word doesn't get out near enough, and I've talked about this, and it might have been last time you and I talked, but the word does not get out near enough about how much churches do in communities across this great nation. I know when I was in a Baptist church for years down in Tampa, they would quite often clean folks' houses. They did it for months at a time. They'd go to various people who had the need, where a group of people, kids, families, would go out and do a bunch of yard work for a designated family.
Correct.
And that doesn't make headlines.
Well, because that doesn't give enough shock factor. You know that as well as I know.
Churches, the word needs to get out about the wonderful things they do.
Well, and it's an interesting point you bring up, because there's a fine line between boasting about yourself, right, and promoting. I think if you ask anyone in our organization, we're not here for the glitz and glamour. The radio spot is fantastic.
You do it because you want to, and it's the right thing to do, and it's what you're taught to do through your faith.
And more importantly, yes, we're called to do this.
And you feel, and the good feeling you get from doing this, and I've always said this, if you ever want to wonder whether there's a God or not, walk into a church and see everybody that's nice to you and see how you feel when you come back out.
Correct.
Have a great day afterwards.
It is a great day.
It's a miracle.
It is, and it's that exposure we talk about. We're looking to be the light in a dark place. Okay, we're looking to have no bones about it. We're a Christian-based organization where Christ is at the center. I mean, He's the one that's in charge of this, not us. We are just simply stewards of this mission to be able to help those that are in need. And need, when sometimes people hear the word need, they automatically think of Section 8 or things like that. It's bigger than that. We all need some help at times. We all need that positivity and that being able to serve. That's really what it boils down to. And July 13th is just an example of that. That's this Saturday. We've got about 20 individuals that are willing to take time out of the day, show up at 9 o'clock in the morning, and be able to help this woman out.
And if somebody wants to get involved or donate and help you help more people, now the website, fchnc.org. You can also look up the Fuller House, Hernando County. That'll get you there too. But the actual website, www.fchnc.org. Now, July 20th, another event happens.
Yes, that is going to be our first groundbreaking for one of our families. And I gave you a quick little bio about Nathan's story, and it's the opportunity to help an individual that has been trying so hard to do the right thing by his daughter. His daughter has special needs. He is a humbled individual trying to work a full-time job, take care of her, and just finds that, he's that gap that most people sometimes would overlook. And, he was persistent. He followed the guidelines, the program, and he was accepted. And on July 20th, we're going to do our first groundbreaking over at Weeki Wachee. And I tell folks there's two amazing experiences. Is the first day that we actually break ground, put shovels in, and then the final day when it's completed and you see the look on their face when all the hard work is done, all the sweat equity is put in, all the strangers, the different companies, the partnerships that come together to put this house, this home into his hands. And, it's a tremendous amount of responsibility. And one of the things we're happy is that with our partner families that we select, they understand the value of what they're getting. They know it's not for free. They do pay a mortgage, and they do have accountability, which is a huge portion of what our criteria is about. And they're grateful. And then they look to duplicate that for somebody else.
Is this your first home?
First home for Fuller Center in Hernando, yes.
Okay. And what are the plans going forward with what you want to do?
The ultimate vision, I'd love 10,000 homes, basically 1,000 homes in 10 years. That's the goal.
You mentioned to me at the top of this that there's a tremendous need for the kind of work that you are doing in the area of affordable housing. Tell us about that need here.
Sure. I think sometimes, there's affordable and workforce. Yes, they're the same thing, but I think people really need to reevaluate what we mean by affordable housing and workforce housing. There's teachers, there's sheriff's departments, there's folks that work at Walgreens, Walmart, waiters and waitresses that, make good money, but the way the market is set up and the housing prices, there's nowhere for them to go.
And apartments can be too expensive too.
Apartments can be too expensive. And we honestly look, and I'll say it now because this is kind of my nature, we look to disrupt the status quo. That doesn't mean that we're going to be handing all this out and this is free. No, but it's being able to give working folks an opportunity, a chance to have an affordable rate for either a mortgage or a rental that gives them the opportunity that's going to have income that can be then invested, can be put into retirement, can be put into the community. And the beauty of this is we're taking this model, okay, this community-based model. You have to understand me on this one. This is where a lot of places we're different. When they're in this community, they're also given the resources. So financial planning, there's going to be information on taking care of your home itself. Understanding that now you've got this extra amount of money, don't go out and buy the latest iPhone or a brand new car. Be able to be good stewards of the extra savings that you're getting through this program, and then continually to grow up. Mm-hmm. The idea eventually is with the workforce housing, they're entry level. Okay, they're not going to be a forever home. They could be a starter home for people to get themselves, out of debt, give them some opportunity to save up, and then move up, which then creates a funnel for the next person behind them. So constantly we're doing this. We're looking behind us to grab the next person and bring them up, and then the next person bring them up, and it becomes this chain of just constantly helping one another. And as I said a couple weeks ago, our organization doesn't look to be the know-all, tell-all, Mike. Let me be perfectly clear with that. What we look to be a part of is to make sure that we are a piece of the puzzle in this community, in this county, that can be able to help with economic development, that can help with giving people paying their taxes, getting money back into the community, and being able to stabilize the home instead of two working parents that are working different shifts and crossing paths in the middle of the night have a chance to be a family.
I have a feeling that back when I bought my first home, which was in 1984, I believe, and even though the interest rate on a mortgage was 10.75%, believe it or not, and I was glad to get that, but the home was affordable, and I wasn't kicking some big bucks. But today, much more difficult to buy a house. Houses, even at lower interest rates. I mean, affordable housing is getting harder and harder to get. I don't know why things have changed that much, but they have over the past 30 years.
Well, we can talk off air on that one. I've got a whole theory on that one.
We should do that because let's do that because I'd like to understand what the heck has happened. Now, luckily, I've worked all my life with my wife, and we stayed in homes, so we we developed some equity, so we were able to do it. But if we were starting out, neither one of the homes, the first one that I sold or the one I occupy now, if I were to just go into the neighborhood I'm in right now, making my pay and having what I have saved up, I would not be able to afford to move into that neighborhood.
No, correct. And here's where Fuller and some of the other housing organizations are a little bit different. We get to play builder, bank, and mortgage service. All right, so all three parts of it, which means we build you the home, we're financing the home, and then we collect the mortgage. And the mortgage is at 0%, right? So we have that opportunity to work with that family and kind of grow them through this different stages.
Might be a model that we can expand on nationwide to help more and more people.
Ultimately, to be honest with you, Hernando is just a stepping point for where we would like to go with this. We're already working with our main office up in Atlanta about being able to go coast to coast. I have a great friend of mine from my hometown in Westchester, New York, that is doing the same, has a Fuller Foundation up there, and they're doing the same thing. And we're really trying to, as I said, if we can be a beacon, a light, an example of it does work. Okay, it's not rocket science, folks. Let's take the greed, let's take the nastiness out of the world and just make it simple and be able to work with one another. It's an easy model to follow.
This is a major problem that America is suddenly running into. You know, we lost a lot of money during the last recession, real estate based, and the big money lenders that make money are scared to death to lend money. So everything is radically changed, and we can do this again. Now, as I let you go, because I got commercials to pay, and Fox News is kind of what final message do you want people to hear from you today?
Honestly, folks, the biggest thing I'd ask you to do is, do your research, go to the website, fchnc.org, kind of see what we're trying to do here in the community. Our phone numbers and emails are there. Reach out to us if you have any questions you'd like us to come out and speak to you. But honestly, we are just a simple group of people that look to make a difference in this area and just help. We're here to serve.
Good stuff. And the website, once again, is fchnc.org. The Fuller House for Hernando. And what does the N stand for?
Fuller Center House, Nature Coast.
That makes
up and down,
sense.
Baby. Up and down. That's the whole.
Leave the Hernando out of that. Fuller Center House, Nature Coast. Well, that's why I asked you. All right.
I like that. I don't mind the questions, my friend.
Rich, glad having you in here, man.
Thanks for having me. Have a great afternoon or morning.
All right. Well, whatever it is. You too. And I will look forward to seeing you again. Good luck with everything going on.
Thank you.